Today, we are playing Returnal on the PlayStation 5, and yes, I've been playing this game for 3 hours straight. I have it, I finally have it, and oh my god, I was expecting less. I actually had no expectations at all with this video game, and it did surprise me a lot. So this is a double A game. This is made by Housemarque Games, and this is actually a roguelike game. So imagine grabbing Binding of Isaac and grabbing Metroid Prime, and those guys have a baby. Well, you have Returnal. Now, one thing though, you probably see this sealed, right? This is sealed. So I bought the game digitally on my PlayStation 5, and I wanted to cancel my pre-order on Amazon, and for some reason, they canceled my pre-order on Amazon, but they still delivered that to me, so okay? Anyway, let's talk about Returnal. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Nuggets, and welcome to my YouTube gaming show, and let's get into this thing, man. Returnal is a game that literally has the roguelike features of games like Binding of Isaac, but you also have those Metroidvania feelings that you get from a Metroid Prime game. Now, I want to let you guys know that I've been playing for 3 hours, so this is a mere impressions video. This is just an impressions video. This is not a full-length review or anything like that. I might do a video later, like maybe next week, as soon as I finish the game, with an actual full review, but right now, this is just impressions. So let's start for the first thing, and the first thing is what the game is about. So each time you die in this game, you literally have to reset everything. You lose most of your items, you lose most of your upgrades, you lose almost everything. Your artifacts, items, things like that, even weapons. Now, there are some things that you keep. There are some main weapons that you keep, like, for example, the blade. There is a blade you grab at the beginning of the video game, like, really close to the beginning, and that blade actually lets you access certain areas of the game and break some barriers and all that stuff. And even if you die, you still keep that blade, so don't worry about that. Now, you gotta be really careful, because even though you die and you lose everything, here's the thing, the world changes. The world is procedurally generated, so the PlayStation 5 is literally generating an exclusive world just for you each time you play the game. So the experience is gonna be different every time you die. So you die, you restart, not only you have to grab most of the weapons or most of the items you lost, but you also have to explore again the whole area because everything is kinda brand new. But not only that, but the game is actually very difficult. So not only you have this factor that you gotta try to avoid dying, but you also have this factor of, oh my god, this game is hard, so I better play very well, because I don't want to die, I don't want to lose everything, and I don't want to be exploring the whole game again. So you have this huge handicap that literally you have it on your brain all the time, that you're always thinking, oh my god, I don't want to die. So yes, there's a lot of difficulty in this game, especially the first boss. The first boss of the game was really hard. I'm not going to tell you any specific stuff. I don't want to really get into detail because I don't want to spoil stuff, and I'm not going to show you the boss, but the boss was really hard. That first boss was really hard for being just the first boss. So I almost died, but I didn't die. But it's pretty intense. This game is, in general, very intense. So again, you have Binding of Isaac and Metroid Prime with this game. So why Metroid Prime? Why does this game look like Metroid Prime? Well, you have this Metroidvania factor. So in this game you explore like this very big area, this very big world, and you have like different rooms and different corridors and all that stuff. And so there are some doors you cannot access, or some zones, some areas you can't access because there's a barrier or there's a key you need or something like that. So in this game you have this factor, kind of like in a Metroidvania game, where you have to advance and keep on advancing and then unlock a key, like just pick up a key, or maybe you unlock a weapon, or you unlock like some kind of attributes or skill that then lets you access those areas that you couldn't access before. So there is this whole exploration factor that you have from a Metroidvania game. So I like that, because exploration is key in this game. Now, there is one thing really cool in this game, and that is combat. The combat system reminds me a lot of Control. If you guys played Control before, the Remedy game, it's actually a really cool game, by the way. I totally recommend that game. So if you play that game, you're playing pretty much Returnal. Returnal has a combat system that reminds me a lot of Control. So you have infinite ammo. Your ammo doesn't finish. It's endless, but each time you finish a round of ammo, you have to wait for the ammo to recharge on its own, kind of like Control. But here's the thing, there is a Gears of War factor here. So you have your ammo recharging, but if you click the trigger, like if you actually use the trigger of your controller at the right time, well, you recharge your ammo immediately, like instantly. So you have that Gears of War factor while reloading, and you have that Control factor of infinite ammo. Plus, it kind of reminds me a lot of Control because it's also like very similar. The pacing of the combat kind of reminds me a lot. You have a lot of dashing, you have a lot of jumping, you have a lot of shooting constantly because your ammo is infinite. So it reminds me a lot of Control. And you also have some melee attacks, which they are really weak. Like melee attacks in this game, they're not like super quick, they're not super reliable, but kind of like Control again. You use it as a last resource, right? So I like that. And so there's a lot of strategy, there's a lot of thinking before getting into a combat. The best thing I can advise to you guys is to actually stay behind certain obstacles, stay behind a column, stay behind a structure, because you're gonna be receiving a lot of projectiles, you're gonna be evading a lot of projectiles, and the best thing you can do is to evade as much as you can. So think before you get into a combat, think before you get into a fight, because things are gonna get really dirty in this game. I like this, guys. I really like this. I reached the second biome, and the second biome, it's like a desert. It's like a desert-looking area. And so in this game, you advance like through different biomes, and these biomes are really unique. So the first biome is like this jungle, kind of forest vibes. Everything is rainy and all that stuff. And then you have the deserts biome, which is the second one, the crimson one, and it's phenomenal. It looks really good. Now, technically and graphically, it's not the best game. It's not. In fact, it's a game I think it could be in the PlayStation 4. I don't know why they didn't release this game on PlayStation 4, really. Maybe I'm just stupid and I don't know why, but I don't know, I think it could have been in the PlayStation 4. But again, it still looks really good. It's a game that looks really crisp. It looks great. It feels great. Now, it's a AA game. Don't expect too much. It's not like a super AAA game. It's not a Ratchet & Clank. It's not a Demon's Souls. It's not an Uncharted. But it looks good. Visually, it's a really outstanding game. It's really spectacular. Especially when you're in a combat and there's all this flashiness, there's all these projectiles against you, there's a lot of stuff going on, and it looks and feels great. So what about the controller? I gotta talk about the DualSense, the PlayStation 5 controller, and I gotta tell you, this game makes use of the vibrations and the triggers of the controller very well. Because each time you feel something in this game, it's something that actually is in the game. For example, raindrops. You see, and there's this jungle area where it's like constantly raining. You actually feel the rain falling on your controller. You feel the rain on your controller. It's amazing. It's like, it feels like your controller is getting wet without getting wet. It's insane. And then also, there's the whole trigger thing, the adaptive triggers of the PlayStation 5. I like them because it adds a gameplay factor. It adds a gameplay layer to the game. Now, what do I mean with that? Well, in this game, you can make normal attacks and you can make special attacks. So here comes the thing. When you make a normal attack, if you want to make one, you have to half press this trigger. You cannot fully press it, because if you fully press the trigger, then you make a special attack. But here comes the thing. The game makes use of the adaptive triggers of the PlayStation 5. So it's like a camera shutter. I don't know if you ever used a camera, but the camera buttons, they have like two waypoints. Like they have the half press and the full press. So here, the trigger stops you at half press, and then you do the normal attack, and then if you want to do the special attack, you have to apply some strength with your finger, and then you have to fully click the trigger, and then you make the special attack. And the trigger has this adaptive trigger feeling that it kind of stops your finger to do the normal attack, and then you have to apply strength to actually fully press the trigger, and then you do the special attack, which is really good. It feels really good to the touch while you're playing. Trust me, it sounds like a gimmick, but it really adds a gameplay, like a gameplay layer to the game. It adds to the immersion, and that is something I never thought that would happen with this controller. When I've seen this controller on the internet, and when they announced it for the first time, I never thought it was gonna actually be a big deal. I thought it was gonna be like a gimmick, but really, with Returnal, it adds a huge layer of immersion, and it even adds some layers of gameplay with the triggers and all that stuff. It's phenomenal, and trust me, you gotta try it to know what I mean. It's insane. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know about Returnal on the PlayStation 5. These are just my impressions, and obviously, maybe if I end up liking the game, or if I end up finishing it, which is probably the thing, that's probably what's gonna happen, I'm probably gonna finish this game, I might do a review, like a full-on review, so click the like button and subscribe, because it's totally free, and click the bell notifications. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you in the next video, and remember that life is beautiful. See ya, guys. See ya.